Good morning, everybody. This is Richard back at you. We got Miss Teresa in the house. We got Annie hanging out. And we got a special guest, Cody, hanging out today helping us out. He's got his hands really full today changing plugs on this Camaro, let me tell you. I didn't want to do it, so Cody said he would do it for us. But we got our 72 Chevy pickup done, our gear vendor 400 out, and our 4L60/700 in. Works beautiful. But our next project. This is a 79 Chevy Corvette. It's got a 350 tranny in it, 350 motor. We're going to be pulling the 350 out and putting a 204R in there. Overdrive, real narrow unit. Same length as the 350 we're pulling out, so we won't have to do any drive shaft work. Already got a passing gear cable, so the bracket's already there. I mean, some of it's going to be simple, and then some of it's going to be pretty rough to do, huh, Teresa? Going to be exciting to do. But we got one of our cores over here. These cores are almost getting obsolete. Fine, guys. Especially, they make a BOP version, they make a fit-all version, they make a Chevrolet version. Now this here is the Oldsmobile Pontiac. You can see the dipple here.
So if it's not a BOP.
This is a BOP, Oldsmobile Pontiac right here.
Right.
A Chevrolet version, it'll come to a point like your normal Chevrolets do and go down.
I see.
If it's a multi-case, it'll have multi-patterns here. It'll look really funny through here. Our Chevrolet core, we're going to be picking it up tomorrow. So we do have a Chevrolet core coming. Very hard to find. It took me forever to find it. But we want to have, you never know what you're going to buy. You know, I'm giving big money for this core. And we don't know, it's been sitting out in the rain, out in the water, so we physically don't know what even it's going to be looking like on the inside. So.
Well, most cores are like that. I don't care what they say.
Yeah,
oh,
definitely.
I just pulled it out
They're all
yesterday.
like that. But you can see how it's a long, narrow unit. But if you got the right 350 in there, the identical length, you can use the drive shaft. So pretty neat. Pretty exciting to do that. We've got our gear vendor unit out here on the bench. This is going to be for sale, so if anybody's looking for the gear vendor unit.
As we stated in our
previous video. A lot of our beautiful parts come in. I'm not sure if we stated that in our previous video for our 204. We did?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, I just love bragging on this stuff. I mean, I love using high quality
Did you
parts.
forget once you shave that off or something?
Oh, yeah. Something just come over me, and we had 2 days of really a blizzard weather here, huh, Teresa? It was crazy. We had a storm come
just one day yesterday.
it felt like forever.
Today's Sunday, so it started raining Friday-ish.
Yeah.
And then all day Saturday. Oh no, I mean Saturday morning, and then probably about 5 o'clock it got quiet, and I mean it was blizzard. It was horizontal. It wasn't
the storms. Yeah, the storms that come through here will blow your mind in Texas. Let me tell you, from the wind to, I mean, just everything about it is crazy. But anyway, this is a 350 motor in this one here. All original, never been touched. This couple went on vacation, flew somewhere, was going to fly back. They run across the car, decided to buy it and drive it back. So, but like he said, going down the highway, this thing just screams going down the highway. We could have put a 350 lockup in it. And that would have helped a little bit with a lockup torque converter, but nothing like an overdrive is going to help it. So we're going to get this up in the air. These are really tough to work on. The exhaust goes through the cross member, just everything about them. So once we get the tranny in and get it running and going good, I'm going to take it down to Howard at Custom Exhaust and then have them put a total new exhaust system on it all the way out the back. So. Me and Teresa had one of these in our younger days. We had a beautiful white one with red interior, crossfire, fuel injected, all kinds of crazy stuff. It was really nice, wasn't it, Teresa?
Yeah, that white. I think it was like an 81.
Beautiful car.
Yeah.
I love sitting in these cars because when you get in them, they feel just like a race car cockpit. I mean, it's crazy how they feel when you sit in them on the inside. They got a really good feel to them. But they didn't make them to work on. They did not make them to work on. Come under here, Teresa, and look at this. Pretty neat car. You can see here how the exhaust goes through the cross member. Now we're going to try to, I got it all oiled up. We're going to try to work it out of there. But then you still have to pull it, you know, through the exhaust.
You have to pull it this way?
Yeah, we got to undo it here, take these 2 pieces off, unloosen the cross member, pull it off these tips right here, and do it that way, and then same way stab it back. But with the 204R, I'm not sure if the exhaust is going to fit anymore. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to try to get it off without damaging it, because if it does fit, that'll save him some money. If not, it's going to have to go down and have, you know, $800-900 exhaust system put on it. But what's cool about it is the 204R, where the 350 mounts and the 204R mounts, they put an extension right here to mount the 350 tranny. Right here. Well, if you take that off, there's 2 bolt holes right through the center right here where the 204R tranny mount will mount right up to the cross member. That's what I'm hoping.
That's cool.
Yeah, so just do away with this piece. And I think with the measurements and stuff that I've done, it should just bolt right to the original cross member, not have to do any work there. But you can, it's just a really tight fit. There's not much tunnel area. You can see here. To even get the drive shaft out on these, you have to unbolt the front yoke right here, slide the yoke forward, that way the front of the drive shaft tilts down, and then it's got 2 more U-joint caps and straps back here that you unbolt to tip the drive shaft the rest of the way out of there. So it goes in, bolts in, and then bolts to the yoke that way. So there's a lot to it, So I'm going to get it out today though, get it on the, not this one, we're not going to be tearing this one down. We're going to be tearing the other 204, the Chevrolet version we got coming down. If it's terrible, then we're going to tear down the BOP one, get whatever parts, hard parts that we need out of it. So anyway.
So we'll see you in a little bit.
In a little bit.
Okay.
Be right back. Okay, we got the transmission out of the Corvette. We've got it on the bench. It was a pretty good job. Had to cut the exhaust off, couldn't put WD on it, try to twist the flanges apart, could not get it done. But you can see here on the cross member how the exhaust goes through the cross member. Yeah. So this is our pulley for our emergency brake cable. So it's all out on the bench. I'm going to show you. It's pretty cool that a 204R will actually fit in here, and it's the exact same length. This is the tranny that come out, the 350 3-speed here. This is the core that we just picked up, the multi-case core. You can see here what I was talking about. It'll fit Oldsmobile or Chevrolet. Where this one here is an Oldsmobile unit only. I'm not sure, like I said, it's been a long time since I've even seen one of these. If they made a Chevrolet version only, or they went to the multi-case to make the Chevrolet version, okay? So if somebody can correct me on that, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been messing with these. But if you look here, you go from the dowel pin to the tail housing, 28.5 inches. If you take the 350, go to the dowel pin to the 28.5 inches. So it should fit right in there, I hope. These are really narrow. You can look and see how it's a really narrow tranny, and how the pan rail falls in and keeps it nice and tight. Where 700, it's a lot wider, the barrel's wider, and the pan is square, so it stays wide all the way out to here and then cuts in. So that's why it won't fit in there. It's got to have this real narrow stuff here. But I did notice when it's bolted to the motor that the transmission mount will actually bolt right directly to the cross member instead of having to use the adapter. You can get away from the adapter. So there's our core, guys. I notice our linkage don't work. Rattles around a little bit. Got a little bit of rust on some shafts. Input shaft looks a little rusted. But like I said, that's why we have our BOP core, because that one there's never been in water. This one here, when we went and picked it up this morning, we poured water out of it. So first thing I did notice, the servo cover was out. So I wanted to get in here and clean the bore up and make sure that the weather didn't eat the bore up where the seal runs. So, but it looks really good there. So hopefully the case is good on the inside, ain't destroyed anywhere else. Looks a little rusty under here, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it will look nothing like that when you get done. It'll look brand new.
Brand new. Curious to see why the shifter linkage is loose. Done a lot of research on these. You want to keep the valve body and the governor assembly together. They made a few different valve bodies and different governor weights, all kinds of stuff.
Ew. Oh, yucky.
Well, that smell there got me right off the bat.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible.
Now, this is our TV linkage here. Somebody's already been in here.
Oh,
you know, some of this stuff is, oh, the valve body's been off before. All the valve body bolts are loose.
Yeah, somebody's took the pan off and stole stuff. Ugh. Oh,
well, stuff like this is really hard to find. So I was glad that it was with the core because it wasn't with my BOP core. My BOP core don't even have a pan. So it's the small stuff that counts. Okay. Just this little lever here. We have our detent pieces here. We have this little retainer here that overlaps this tube right here because this tube will come out. So they have a retainer that physically holds it in. Kind of see it right there. Hold it down. We have our lockup solenoid. Now this is our 4th gear circuit here that we're going to be putting our lockup switch in. Like I said, this vehicle doesn't have any lockup capability, so we're going to be wiring in some wires. We're going to be wiring in a low vacuum switch. Stuff like that. Wire it to the brake switch. That way our lockup comes off and on with the brake.
We might need some airflow back through here.
Pretty stout, huh?
Yes, it's giving me a headache. Didn't take long.
Let me see if I can turn this little fan on here real quick.
We got to get that blowing.
There you go, fresh air. Texas dusty air.
Not today.
But like I said, on our lockup system, we'll be putting a 4th gear switch here. When it goes into 4th gear, it'll ground the solenoid. And then our power will go through our brake switch. It'll go through a low vacuum switch and then go to the fuse box to a fuse to a key on power. So that's how that's going to end up working. Now these valve bodies do have, I hear they have a paint coat on them somewhere. I'm going to have to try to find the coat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there ain't no way.
Yeah, I don't think that's savable. That part's
scrap
not.
metal. Holy moly.
Accumulator's been all loosened up too, so. Now I do have a Sonex, or not a Sonex, but I'm not sure the brand, but I got another piston and stuff coming from Summit Racing. So these are always wore out. These pistons are bad about wearing, where the piston runs up and down the pin. So you get a big leak there. They're bad about wearing here and the piston rocking really bad. You could have a good seal if it's wore out here on the pin, then it's going to leak around here. So. But I got a new piston here coming. Hopefully be here in a few days. Now I'll update these accumulators to the later version. Got the tall body. Now we are putting of course we're putting a Transgo kit in it and stuff, so we're going to be doing a lot of modifications to this to make it hold up. You can see the valve body of the gasket here has a C on it for case, right there. That way you don't get them mixed up. Yeah, that valve body is, I'd say it's a goner.
Wow.
Terrible. Hopefully there's a governor in there. Yeah, there's a governor in there. Okay. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of research on, because I'm setting the speedometer on this, and the speedometer goes through the governor assembly. So depending on what color you need, I believe I'm going to be using a red and a green. I'm not for sure. On this right here, I got it in my wallet. But I wanted to show you different weights on here. See that little bitty weight right there? See, that one's a little bigger. See, that one's even bigger.
Got like numbers and stuff on it.
That's a 3. That's a G.
What letters? C?
Yeah, C or an O.
O right there, G.
Yeah, but they do make multiple thicknesses on this governor. The lighter the weight here, I've noticed, the higher the RPM is going to be on the shift. So then you got springs and stuff in here. But the governor is coated to the valve body. I say this isn't going in a race car or anything, but I don't think he's going to be, just zinging it really high RPM and stuff. So we're building him a nice unit, but I'm not going to build it to where he can take it.
It's like driving through the mountains.
Yeah, it's daily driver type stuff.
That's right.
Good pressure, but we want longevity. Of our filter O-ring. Anytime you do a service on one of these, you want to always pull that O-ring out, because your new filter is already going to have one. You don't want to double stack it, because you can break the neck on the filter when you put the pan back on. You can see our bolts here for our support. I left my tin down here, excuse me, Teresa. What'd you think of that pan?
It's disgusting.
That's got some gross.
That's some gross stuff out there.
Now these are hollow bolts here too. Fluid goes to them to apply your direct clutch, your forward clutch.
I mean, my smeller is ruined right now.
That's bad.
Yeah.
It smells like longevity. Now, this is your band anchor. The 700 band anchor, 406D band anchor looks the same, but they are taller. So they will not, and if you grind it down, you're not going to be able to use one of them if you can't find one of them. They are shorter. You can't put it in there. If not, it'll push the band against the drum right there. Actually, you can see your low reverse clutch here. Actually applied through there. There's a little plug, it's a plug with a hole in it with a seal to seal the case to the center support right there. So when you rebuild them, you'll have one in your kit that you put back in there. You can see here where your boost valves and stuff are, where you replace that stuff to put bigger boost valves. No, I'm not going to use it. I'll stay with my electric today. Hopefully that pump will come out of there, truthfully.
I don't know.
Put a little pressure on it this way too. My hammers are scattered. So tap on this way. water gets around that seal and stuff and just dry rots it.
Shocking that looks as good as it does.
Yeah, really, huh?
Shocked.
Now this is the back of your pump stator right here. You can see it goes through, it bolts in here. We actually got a new one, a hardened one that we're going to be replacing this one with. But there's also a lube hole right here in this little puck. Little miniature tiny hole right there that lubricates this washer. So when you rebuild it or whatever, I have a tie wire that I stick through there and make sure that hole's nice and clean. Now this is your pump, a selective washer here. They do make different thicknesses here. If you notice, this is a 3, I think. I can't see it. Do you see that right there?
Yeah.
I don't have my glasses.
It's a 3.
Is that a 3? Like I said, that's how you identify by thickness, is higher the number or lower the number. Quite a bit of wear right here. I don't know if you guys can see that from here to here.
Yeah.
I can feel that with my glove. Not so much here, but definitely right here. Now we are going to be replacing this with a lot better pump, 13 vein assembly that'll go in here. This whole piece will be replaced, and then we'll also be, since this is a single pump slide spring, we never go back with a single. We'll add a center one in the center. Find you an 04060E or later 700 that has a dual spring. Just take the center spring, or just use both of them and put it in here. Anytime you upgrade to more paddles, this right here is always going to be different too, this piece here. Got your pivot pin and spring. I want to look and make sure it isn't wore, because this pretty much is what keeps this straight. This seal, when we take this seal out, we'll be drilling this relief hole right here to a bigger size. Your shift kit will actually probably tell you about it. This hole right here. Okay. And take the seal out, you'll drill it that way. You'll come in here and drill it this way. And then also you'll want to look at your pump stator, because you'll be drilling this hole too. Okay. This is where your boost valves are setting. If I can get that out of there. I'll just put that up because I changed them on that pickup. Now this shift kit we bought, it has all the big boost valves in it. Has the 500 boost valve, and it has the manual reverse and second gear. This is your pressure regulator valve here. This land here, we'll be grinding it totally off. And this one here is your manual second and reverse boost valve. This end right here is larger. Actually, it's larger all the way around. And then your main boost valve right here. This is where your 500 boost valve goes in. So just like that. Then you have your lockup valve here. Too bad that body's bad. I guess this here just keeps the, I'm really not for sure. Really don't know what the heck you want to call this thing right here. What it does. Maybe keeps oil on the clutches or whatever. It really, don't know what it's called. Alright guys, my tools are everywhere. Been very busy. Well, can't find nothing. Where's all my stuff at, Teresa? You using it in the bathroom?
What?
All my tools.
No.
And we have our overdrive clutch here. Anytime you stack this back together, you'll have 2 clutches and you'll have 2 steels in the middle. Like that. That's how that goes. Got your apply piston back here, clutch, 2 steels, another clutch, and then your backing plate and snap ring. You want to look right here where that washer was running. You can see how that looks pretty scuffed up. You just have to see how bad it is, see if it can be cleaned up and reused. Teflon is there. It's going to be this style. Our input shaft, little snap ring, our planetary assembly. You want to look at these little brass washers always right through here and make sure they're not wore out and letting this gear slide back and forth a lot. Check them all really good. Make sure this race looks good when your roller clutch is running. And we have this little clutch right here. It's your coast clutch, engine brake clutch. And we have this snap ring. You got to push down on it because it's got a spring under here, kind of weird little thing. Pull it out. Right there.
Kind of wavy.
Yeah, these are bad about breaking. So when you put this all back together, you got a couple seals. Put down in there, set that down in there, and then you have to put that on there and then compress it and then put your snap ring in. We have another thrush washer right here. We have a complete new thrush washer kit. This kit right here comes with all the washers so you can set up everything, but it does not come with these washers, this washer right here. I have them selective over in another drawer over there, but it does not come with them. You have to get them separately. Then you have another snap ring right here. Now this is a bevel snap ring. It's flat on this side and beveled on this side. So you want to make sure you put that in there right. The bevel goes out. You don't want to get that hung up in there, and you won't ever get it out. Or even putting them in sometimes, it can be tough.
Well, that's a cute little squirt gun.
There we go. Need a little bit of love to it. Of course, you have a seal here and a seal here for your overdrive apply piston. And you can see here where the bolts that I was showing you, the 2 hollow bolts screwed into. Anytime we put this back in, though, we put a little bit of sealant on here. And then when we put it, slide it in gently, tighten it down, and then if something squirts out a little bit, we'll just clean this up out of these feed holes right here. My tools are scattered everywhere for some reason. I wonder why, huh? Now here we have our same, it's called a high reverse clutch. It's your 3rd gear clutch. And it also comes on the back up. Actually looks pretty good. What you can do after you get this drum together, always line the steels up so they have a notch like that. Always line them up. Helps get oil out of the drum. If you stagger them, it tries to keep more oil in the drum, I believe. But this drum here has a check ball and a seat right there. If you hold your finger over these holes right here, you can pressurize that drum. Get that over that. See that ball's holding up right there. Listen. And then the ball will fall. If you lay this down on a bench and you dent that right there, you're going to have a leak. So and then you're going to pressure it up and it's going to leak there. It's going to release every time. But you can hold your finger over that and pressurize it. And that drum will stay pressurized. And this are the feed holes that's feeding that circuit right through there. You can see them little holes right there. Through these, between these rings right here. Same way with this forward drum right here. It has a check ball right here. Let me explain something here though. When you take all these clutches and pistons out in here, you got access to the back of this little ball. So if you dent that up right there, you can take a small punch, a flat-ended punch, and take and tap that check ball and remake that seat right there where it doesn't leak no more. Just remember that. Same way with this drum here. You have an apply hole right here that applies that clutch. You can plug it, blow in that check ball right there. See? That way, as long as it holds, you know the drum's not leaking, there's no cracks or anything like that. And of course that's applied to the center part of this right here. Through these, in between these 2 sealing rings. So this drum's going to have a wave in it. Since this is your forward clutch. And it's going to be a wavy steel. That actually is no good. It's not wavy no more. It's bowed, and that shouldn't be bowed. It should be wavy all the way around. And of course, you look at the forward clutch; they don't look very healthy. So we're definitely going to have to get a forward wave for it. Or when we tear down our core there, it might have a brand new looking forward wave in it that we can use. Sure. Mm-hmm. Freight's terrible now, so anything you buy or get, everything's expensive. Everything's expensive. Of course, we have our intermediate band here. This band looks brand new. You would think that you could just clean it up and put it back in there. But since this tranny's been full of water, then this band has been what's that word I'm looking for?
Compromised?
It's been compromised, but it's been introduced to moisture.
There you go.
Introduced to moisture. And moisture is what takes this lining off. If you lay this in a bucket of water overnight, come back, the steel is going to be on the bottom if the clutch plate's going to be floating. So, and your clutches will do the same thing. So even though it looks good, doesn't mean it's good. So just chunk it. And of course, we have a TCI high energy band that we're going to be putting in it anyway, so we're good to go there. Oh, where's my little... Oh, here it is. Oh, it's broken. That's why I couldn't find it. They have... I'm going to open this bag and show you. They have selective pump seals. They're not pump seals, but when two shafts come together, like this here, that one there, and then this one here, oil comes through this hole, seals to the seal here, and then goes through the hole back there and lubricates your planets and stuff like that. With these right here, this is the seal. You can see his is broken. Oh. Now this will set down in the shaft right here, and it'll be centered just like that. And then when you put it all together, it seals these two together. So we definitely had an oiling problem, a leak where the oil wasn't getting all the way to the back, where it's just falling out and falling through the case and going right back to the pan just because this is broken. But they do make multiple thicknesses. I got drawers of them over there that are a lot thicker than those. So, and then of course, right here, these shafts all, see how bad that wobbles? Touches the bushing. Look at this one over here. Touches the bushings. Because when this is put together right, this shaft's going to stand sturdy and straight. You're going to have a little bit of a wobble to it, but it's not going to be nothing like this. That's because of the clearance is not right in the output shaft part. Well, and I forgot, there's a tool I'm missing. Hopefully I can find that real quick. But there's a snap ring right here. Get that out of here. I forgot I needed a special tool for this, to take this apart. But you have these right here. These are selective. These are different thicknesses right here. And when you get this together, you want to, you're going to get your clearances set right, and this shaft will not wobble. Because why it's wobbling is because the clearance is too much through the whole system behind this snap ring. See? I hope I said that right. Has nothing to do with the low reverse clutches or anything like that. It's everything to do with just setting up your clearances. You have a bearing here. The bearing does run on the gear. Kind of a weird little setup there. But the same way, you want to look at these brass washers and make sure that they're all good. Make sure they're not totally gone. Look here where your bushing runs. You have a bushing right there. And you also have this little washer right here. And my overhaul kit does not come with that. And my bushing, or my washer kit does not come with that. We have our sun gear shell. Now these are all bad about stripping. Back in the day, I don't know how many come in the shop with this stripped out right here. You do have a 4-tab washer behind it. So you want to look at the sun gear, make sure all your teeth are good, replace your bushing, stuff like that. Now we do have a hardened shell for this unit that we're going to be replacing that one with. We have another snap ring down here. Put a little oil. There's another support down here that applies the low reverse clutch. And I haven't had those tools out in a long time. So let me see if I can even, oh, here they are. Right here. This tool right here. This is how you get that support out right there. It says 200, 204. They actually make it for a 125 too, see? 125 front wheel drive.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh. Stick that down in there. Pick that down in and then turn it. why you have the tool. There you go. That's why you need the tool to get it in and get it out. Now you see this apply hole right here? There's a piston here, you apply air here, piston comes out and applies your low clutch back here. They have a seal that I was talking about in the case that seals it. You tap it out of there. It looks like this. It's got a rubber seal on the end of it, and when you tap it in the case, it seals the case to the support. Of course, you rebuild this. Look at these splines right here. Make sure they're not getting bad. Make sure this, and like you got another one of them funny little waves that break. I'll show you. Right here. These are bad about breaking. We'll make sure it's not cracking or anything like that. Replace it. You always want to Scotch-Brite up this area here. Put new bushings. And then of course you have another snap ring down in here. It's a little thin one. I mean, like really, really thin.
I've seen thinner. Look like a wire.
We have a black speedometer gear down in here. And we have our low reverse clutch right here. And of course you'll have a wave on top of it, and the support applies the wave towards the clutch. So you'll stack it all the way down flat. Last one's going to be the wave. You're going to put the thin one in there, your center support, and then your wavy snap ring, which I forgot to say. This snap ring is beveled on this side and flat on this side. I did not mean to say wavy. Beveled and flat. So
Thank you.
I like that. Of course, you have your lower planetary. Same thing, you want to look at the gears, make sure none of the thrust washers are wore out. You have a roller clutch right here. Then you have another washer right here. These are bad about breaking. Let's see if this kit does come with a new one. So, output shaft. Then your case bushing down in the bottom down in here physically is your tail housing bushing. There is no physical case bushing like you'd see in a 350, a 4060 or 4080 or anything like that. The tail housing bushing is physically the case bushing in the back. The tail housing really, the yoke and stuff really stabilizes a lot of this through here. So, but anyway, we got a job to get going, and it's going to be fun, huh, Teresa? Need a few parts out of that. I think we're going to be needing to get this to 100%, which is really, really nice, and to try to save the customer some money. We always try to do that. Okay, we're back on the Corvette. We got the tranny all built, got it put in. We got the exhaust done. Turned out really nice, guys, let me tell you. Come here and check this out. Annie hanging out with us today. This is what it looks like. We took a 350 transmission out, put a 204R overdrive transmission in it, hooked up the lockup, no drive shaft modification. It was basically just a bolt-in. Once you take the 350 adapter bracket off, the 204R mount holes will mount right to the cross member. So this is basically pretty close to a direct bolt-in. And then, of course, you have to wire it up, hook the cable up, and all that type of stuff. So, turned out really nice. Check out the exhaust. Custom exhaust here in Amarillo. Howard and them over there, they just do a fabulous job. Really nice job that they did for us. Did it sound good? We do a lot of these overdrive swaps. So, I can't say, I mean, if you need one done, hit Teresa up. She'll hook you up, won't you, Teresa? But like I said, it turned out really, really nice. If you got an early model Corvette, got a 350 tranny in it, you know a 204 will go in one of these vehicles really, really nice and fit really well. So anyway, next. We want to thank Ms. Teresa for recording. We want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, push your notification bell, and we will see you next time. Have a fabulous day.